All right, Buff fans, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the way too early predictions for this Colorado Buffs team and where I think they will end the season way too early. Now, I do want to put in a disclaimer. I do have the rights to change this after the spring game. I just want to kind of give a way too early prediction of what I think they could do. Let's just have some fun with it. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know, what games are you most excited to see for Colorado this year? What do you think their record will be by the end of the season? Okay, so Colorado now has Coach Prime and an incredible staff. You've got Willie Taggart now on the staff. You've got Mike Zimmer here. You've got Nick Williams on the defensive line. You have Sean Lewis from Kent State. You have Tim Brewster, who has just been an elite college football recruiter. This is an interesting staff here and an interesting season for Colorado. Looking at their schedule, I would say it's not the easiest schedule, but I think it's manageable for Colorado to have a pretty good season, a pretty good turnaround. So I want to preface this by saying this: Lincoln Riley going to USC from it was a 3-8 team. He basically increased their wins by 8, or a 4-11 team, or whatever they were, right? Increased their wins tremendously. I think Coach Prime can do something similar at Colorado because they've made some tremendous strides through the transfer portal, and I think they've got more coming. So at TCU, your first game of the season, I actually like Colorado in this game. I think TCU has lost a lot, and even though Colorado is going to be going into a hostile environment, I think this is a very winnable game for Colorado. Nebraska at home. So I think this one will be a little bit tougher for you than TCU because it's Matt Rule's first year at Nebraska. It's Coach Prime's first year at Nebraska. You're going to have a lot of turnover on both teams. Nebraska definitely has probably the more tenured quarterback at Nebraska with Casey Thompson, but you have Shedeur Sanders on your side. Ultimately, I think this is a close game for Colorado, but I like it, and I like the win over Nebraska. The next week, you have Colorado State. It should be an easy dub. So at that point, you've got 3-0 going to Eugene, Oregon. I do think Colorado loses this game to Oregon. I don't think it's close because Eugene's a hard place to play at, and I think Oregon's going to have Colorado's number there. Additionally, you have to come back home and play USC at home. I just don't see where Colorado is able to beat USC just yet. I don't think you guys will be able to get over that hump maybe until year 2 or year 3, but I do think it'll be a closer game. And so at that point, I've got Colorado sitting at 3-2, where you guys head into another pretty easy part of your schedule. You've got at Arizona State and Tempe, Arizona, and then you've got to come back home and play Stanford. I believe you guys win both of those games pretty handily. It's Arizona State's first year with Kenny Dillingham, but I think overall Colorado will have a more talented roster by that point. And so I think Colorado wins that game. Additionally, Stanford, I just don't think Stanford's good. So by that point, I think Colorado is 5-2 heading into a bye week where you're pretty much heading into a pretty hard part of your schedule. So at UCLA in Pasadena, California, I would say I could give this one to you guys. I think it's a toss-up based on what UCLA decides to do at the quarterback position. So we know they have Dante Moore coming back in there, but other than that, I really don't like what they have in their quarterback room. You don't have Charbonnet either. So I think this is a very winnable game, but it's on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and favor UCLA. But like I said, again, in the spring, I could completely change that, and I could say, hey, I like Colorado over UCLA at that point. So I got you guys sitting at 5-3, going to play Oregon State at home. This is a game where it's going to be tough. You got to play DJ Uiagalelei on the other side, the new quarterback for the Oregon State Beavers. But again, I'm going to give you guys the home field advantage here and give you guys the win, advancing to 6-3, having to play Arizona at home. This should be another easy win. Arizona is, I think, a cakewalk in terms of a team in the Pac-12. Even though they had a better season last season, I think they'll have maybe a little bit of a dip this year. I think you guys win that one, going to 7-3 when you guys have to play at Washington State in Pullman, Washington. I want to pick you guys to win this game. But man, it's a hard one. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. It's on a Friday night. I think you guys can definitely cause some havoc up there for Washington State. We'll put you guys at that point at 8-3 at Utah, where I just think you guys lose that one. So right now, I have you guys at 8-4. Unfortunately, that does not put you in the Pac-12 championship game, but it gives you a tremendous improvement over last season, and definitely gives Coach Prime some headway going into the 2024 recruiting cycle. I think at that point, you'll start to see a lot of 2024 commits say, I like what Coach Prime is doing. I've seen the improvement. I've seen the developments, and I want to be a part of it. So I think you'll see that class start to really come to fruition there and really start to piecemeal. So go ahead, guys, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What games are you most excited to see Colorado play next season? Additionally, what do you guys think the record will be? Do you guys agree with me that 8 wins is a good a cap on this season? In my opinion, I think Colorado fans should expect 6 wins. I think their ceiling is 9 wins. I think the floor is probably 4 wins. So go ahead, jump down in your comments below. Let me know if you guys agree with me, and let me know what y'all's thoughts are around the schedule. What do you think the record's going to be in 2023?